What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 16 of the LARNE project here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are good. Since you were last here, I've been on holiday. I've been away for, well, the weekend. I'm back now. Today is Tuesday. It's the first day back recording, and it's also the first time with this series that I'm recording an episode that you guys will be seeing the day after I record it. As some of you guys will know, I record things generally a week in advance, sometimes, well, usually a little bit less, but up to a week in advance because of the fact I work full-time. My work kind of fluctuates. I kind of have to get ahead of schedule sometimes because I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to record every night and such. So yeah, it's nice to be back. Hopefully you have been enjoying the series so far. Viewership has been really steady, and well, you guys seem to be loving it, which is absolutely great. Since you were last here, we've only played 3 matches. Today, I thought we'd open up November by taking on Linfield. It's a big game for us. They are a team who, of course, have Devlin in goal for them now. And, well, the reason for doing them is that towards the end of the month, we've got Glenavon and also Cliftonville, 2 big games for us that I think we'll do as a double header next time out. Those should be 2 pretty tasty games. So I wanted to do a match in between the previous episode, which of course was against Crusaders, which we lost, and those games that are going to be coming up. So anyway, since you were last here, 3 games played. The first game was against Queen's University Belfast. A completely rotated team got us the win. They got us over the line. That is what matters. I'm not going to show the highlights for this. We should have won by more, 3-2, perhaps a tad bit underwhelming in the end. In the County Antrim Shield semi-final, man, I'm forgetting how to talk. We ran out 2-0 victors. We deserved the win here. We dominated the game against Crusaders. Despite losing to them in the league previously, you can see we performed very well here. This is, of course, a competition we won last year. Not as fussed about it this year, although still great to make the final. You can see here for us, 11 shots on target to their 1. Jeff Hughes from the penalty spot. Glatzel also getting a goal. Great for him. The young Liverpool player looks like he could be a pretty good player down the line for us. I'm not sure why the game thinks we're scouting him. It thinks that all of our players are being scouted. What has happened, game? I've been away for 5 days and it's all broken. I guess that's a visual bug. We'll go with it. Anyway, Glatzel, the guy I wanted to talk about. I really like this guy. Really hot prospect for Liverpool in real life. Doing exceptionally well. You can see primary nationality is now English over German. That because he has been playing in the English under-20s national team. So good progress for him there. Looks like he could be a very tasty striker for us down the line. Hopefully he can continue to improve. And to be honest, when you compare him to Simmons, who of course has really nailed down a striking position alongside O'Connor, there's an argument to say he's better. I do like Paul Glatzel. Not got the same pace or the same technical ability, but a good finisher and pretty decent with the ball in the air. So definitely a player to, well, keep an eye out on, I guess, over the coming months. Anyway, those are the 3 games we've played since we last here, or rather the 2 games we've played. We've played 1 game in the league as well. Ballymena, you can see they took the lead in this game through Café Friel in the 26th minute. Fortunately for us, Paul O'Connor, a second half goal for him. Got us a share of the spoils. Still pretty disappointing, to be honest, but we have to take the good with the bad. It was okay. And, well, we'll try and bounce back, you know, from that and continue to improve. You can see here O'Connor continuing to improve. Still only 8 finishing, but he's finding the back of the net fairly consistently. You can see 10 goals in the league this season. So I'm not too worried about that. Still very much see this guy as one of our hot prospects in the future. So yes, not a whole lot of games covered since you were last here. I must admit, going into this a little bit rusty. It's kind of weird for me. I'm usually playing FM at least, you know, 3 or 4 times a week to do my episodes, obviously. With me being away and having not touched the save game in about 5 or 6 days, and just because it was such a long weekend, I was out of the country visiting a friend. It's just been kind of a bit of a weird one, you know. I'm coming back, getting back in the swing of things, but hopefully we can get a result here against Linfield. That draw against Ballymena does put us in a bit of a predicament. You can see here, Glenavon, the previous champions, are now ahead of us. Now, they have played a game more than us, but they are unbeaten. 7 wins and 7 draws for them. And of course, I talked about it before. I feel like it's worth just mentioning. They are in the Europa League, where they actually managed to get a draw against the Austrian outfit Rapid Wien, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Austrian viewers out there. But yeah, they got a point, which is actually pretty impressive, all things considering. I do wonder if that European football is one of the reasons why they're struggling and kind of getting so many draws. But well, we're not going to complain one little bit. Linfield, who we take on today, were really hotly kind of tipped to do well. There was a lot of pressure on them come the start of the year that they were going to be one of the standout teams. You can see they were predicted to be up in 5th. Right now, they are way, way off the pace. You can see here down in 7th on 16 points. They are desperate for a win today against us. that would see them move, well, into a perhaps slightly more competitive position in the league. In terms of our team for today's game, we have got a little bit of fitness concerns and injury worries. You can see Mandanda not fully fit to play today's game, so I think Tommy O'Donnell is going to lock down this position. I really like Tommy O'Donnell, but he's been kicking up a fuss about lack of first-team football, so we're kind of juggling his happiness just a little bit, hoping that it won't be too much of a concern, although I guess we'll have to see how he gets on. You can see the other players we've got here. On the bench, Simmons not fully fit for today's game, but we could risk him. I don't think we're going to risk him. We're going to give McDade the game because he's unfit. I've just had a thought as to why this is kind of showing up as scouting in progress. I think this is going to be because the new Football Manager update came out today and maybe it's broken things with the skin. I'll have to look into that. But yes, we are officially on 19.2, the new version of Football Manager, which I believe has some set-piece tweaks amongst other things. So we might have to check our corner tactics because that is something that we've definitely thrived from, and just our general, approach to the game because the match engine is going to be slightly different for us. But yes, you can see looking at the average ratings, our team very, very strong in a pretty great position. Neco Williams still coming back from injury, only recommended to play half a game, so I'm not going to chance him today, but I do like the look of him. I'm hoping he continue to be good for us. In terms of the team that we are going to have for today's game, let's take a look at it. We are, I think, going to persist with the 5-3-2. However, I have been sat thinking about maybe the possibility of switching to the Gegenpress system that we, of course, played in our second Europa League leg. It served us better against a bigger team. I feel like it will probably work pretty well against kind of slightly weaker opposition here in Northern Ireland. However, there is something of, I guess, what's the right word here? I'm trying to think of the word, a bit of a hipster edge, I guess, to playing the three at the back. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like a bit hip playing this, but realistically, with the players that we've got, with our striking situation, with me maybe wanting to play Simmons out wide, O'Connor could play out on the left if we wanted him to. It's not completely out the question that we could switch to a 4-2-3-1. I'd be interested to know, how do you guys feel about that? Of course, you are the ones watching the series. I feel like it's been nice to mess around with the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2, depending on how you want to look at it. But I do feel like with Kieran Kane being our best left back by a mile, but not being that great going forward, and just, the general talent we have in the final third that we can't really fit onto the pitch all at once, maybe we should look at changing our system. We've got tactics that we've experimented with. I feel like it's, as I said, kind of nice that we do have our kind of slightly unique system, but at the same time, it's kind of unique for a reason. And I did expect us to run away with the league a little bit more than we have so far this year. And I feel like perhaps that is in part down to our current tactical system. But anyway, I feel like we should give the current Football Manager patch a bit of a test before we consider changing the system. Now I think about it, maybe the match engine is going to help this tactic. Maybe it's going to completely ruin it. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? And then we can act appropriately. But yeah, it's definitely something on my mind. Of course, at the time of you watching this video on Wednesday, I believe it'll be going out, you guys will have been on the patch for a little while. So you guys can let me know what you make of it if you've been playing it a lot over the last 24 hours. I like the patch so far because in our first game, we get a penalty after 20 minutes. Who is going to be stepping up? Is it McDade? Of course it's McDade. And, he's canned it down the middle. The keeper got a hand to it, but it was not strong enough. Of course, it's Devlin in goal. And, a little bit of a rivalry, I feel like, with Devlin in goal and McDade as striker. I'm sure on the training ground last year, they were pretty familiar with one another. I mean, that shot literally broke the net. David McDade, he's like, boss, I want to be playing more football. You're not giving me the first-team football that I was hoping for. And he just smashes it in. I've just realised Bradley Lyons' fitness is not very good. We might have to take him off at half-time. Did I forget about the fact he was carrying an injury or coming back from injury? We've got options, actually. We can bring in Mandanda maybe to give him a bit of game time. Mandanda, despite picking up an injury, was recommended that we could play him if we needed to. Oh my gosh, Andrew Mitchell. First goal of the season for him. A set piece for Linfield. A free kick from the edge of the box, and what a strike that was by him. Into the roof of the net, just steps up, one shot, bang. I mean, could Thompson do a little bit better? It wasn't right into the top corner, but it was hit with some serious power. And you can see here, Kieran Kane having a really poor game out on that left-back position. I need a better performance from you today, boys. I'm far from pleased. Start the second half, see what we can do here. And, let's see how we get on. I feel like I should be focusing on the game, but I'm actually kind of concerned about the fact the patch has ruined my skin. Hopefully we can fix it. It might be a cash thing, actually, now I think about it. But if you are using the skin and you're having problems, it's because of the update. I feel like it's worth putting out a public service announcement here. And obviously, if you're watching the videos and you're going, your game looks kind of nice, Jack, I'd like to get all the stuff that you use, check out the description. It's all down there. People always ask me, Jack, what skin are you using? I cry a little because it's all linked down in the description. I go through the effort to put it there and people don't see it. Right, we're going to make one change. I'm going to bring in Mandanda for Simmons, who's struggling. Kieran Kane is also just having a mare of a game at left-back, so I'm going to take him off and bring in Benny Tilney, who can definitely offer us something going forward. 15 minutes left of this game. This would be points dropped, you'd have to say, against Linfield down in 7th. We should be beating them. We've been on a bit of a rough run of form when it comes to live comps. Of course, the draw last game out against Ballymena, not exactly worth screaming and shouting about. I'm going to tell the boys just to go a little bit more direct here with the play. Less of the work in the ball into the box, less of the patient play out from the back. We need to get the ball far up the pitch and quickly in the 5 minutes that remain. We'll see how it goes for us. I feel like every time I've ever switched to very attacking or overload, it's never really worked out for us. You'd have to say, actually, statistically, this has been a very 50-50 game. A draw would probably be the fair result. Maybe one last set piece, although it's so far into extra time, I can't see it amounting to anything. It's cleared away. That's going to be all she wrote. Linfield, fair play to you. Turned up. Actually, we're probably the better team upon reflection. That was not good enough, boys. A penalty is what we relied on to get a point from this game. Now, I know they scored a set piece, but even so, a wee bit disappointing. Did Glenavon play? They did. They won as well. You can see here 1-0 against Ballymena. Of course, Ballymena, who we drew against, down in 3rd, so they're going pretty strong. They are now even on points with us. Glenavon running away just a little bit. Of course, we do have a game in hand on them, as do Ballymena. Our goal difference is superior too. Maybe there is more of a reason to perhaps switch up the system, particularly if we have more performances as disappointing as this one. We have been just really, really poor. I will say, good to see a lot of our players who are on loan playing first-team football. You can see the average ratings for them here. Reasonably solid across the board, which is kind of what you want to see. I feel like Reece Williams is doing pretty well so far at Crusaders. He got a 7.4, despite the fact they conceded 4, which is a little odd, but I mean, he must have done something right. Also, Phoenix Patterson, a player who I've not talked about a lot, has been developing absolutely superbly at Glenavon, so definitely a player worth keeping an eye on. And, well, if we were to switch to the 4-2-3-1, he is a player who I think would come into the first team and definitely benefit from that. And of course, with all the youngsters we've got in our first team, I talked about this in the extra episode not that long ago. You know, when you look at players like Lille, it does make you wonder if maybe playing with wingers is the way to go with the future on the horizon and some of our best prospects being those attacking midfielders. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. Hopefully you did enjoy as always. If you did, do drop a like on it. If you've got any feedback with regards to the series, your thoughts, opinions, anything like that, I would be very interested to hear it now. Obviously, as I said, usually I record a little bit further in advance. So if you have any feedback, I can take it on board and try and implement it in the next couple of episodes. And, well, hopefully I will get some from you guys, be it positive or negative. It's always good to hear. Anyway, that is going to be all from me today. Thank you for watching. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.